Let's do it live on a Tuesday edition of the program. Merely Bo, the Great Z. I like this. I like this hoodie you got on today.
It's a new one.
It's good. It's
new
good.
collection this year. Team shop. Go to Clam Brown's Team Shop. You can check it out.
Who's your manufacturer on that? It's like
Nike.
a T-shirt hoodie.
Nike.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Sideline
T-shirt.
gear. It's
like
and it's got hands in here if you need
Yeah.
to put them in there.
I like it.
The material's pretty cool too.
You still got your Hoff bracelet on too.
Yeah.
I tried. Line was too big.
I know. It's great.
Sucked.
It's great. I love it. I got mine. Miss Kay's got her. Big Drew, Yellowstone's got one.
Stones has got it rocking.
Stones has
yeah.
it. He's rocking it.
Ryan Day, the head coach of the Ohio State football team, which is located in Columbus, about 2 hours south of here, informed today on his press availability that he is a big Yellowstone fan. So when you mentioned Yellowstone, then I thought, well, there you go.
By the way,
that all happened today.
Not surprised.
Not surprised. No.
Not surprised in the least. Just by the way, pre-show was just in the gym with the Great Hoff.
The Great Hoff.
I set a PR on bench for me, which I was pretty pumped about today. That was kind of we were building to this.
Yep.
He did the best that he's done in quite some time. Just a no big deal 345.
Yeah.
I was really pumped about 230. I was feeling real good about myself.
Yeah. Well, he's
mid-40s.
He's a professional athlete still.
I'm at my best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 2/3 of the Hoff, which I have no problem.
That's plenty good.
Feels like
why would you need to be better than that?
Feels like a great
That's very good.
accomplishment.
That was a good. That's a good humble brag out of you.
Yeah.
All of that you got done.
It's not even a humble brag.
No, I think that's a legitimate brag. That's good.
I don't think it's a brag. I think what he's doing is a brag. What I'm doing
He's
is
a professional
nothing.
athlete. You're not. I think you being 2/3 of him is a bigger accomplishment than a professional athlete being a professional athlete.
What's kind of you to say?
Yeah, that's what I do.
I don't know if I agree with it.
I
but
love
it's kind of you to say.
Yeah, I
think there
are
are a lot. I think there are a lot of people out there who can lift 66%.
Not that don't do it for a living.
I don't know.
That are just with all the rest of the things going on in their world, raising families, having jobs. You can't work out like a professional athlete.
No.
Anytime, and obviously we're very close to the Hoff, but anytime I talk with like former NFL players, and we end up talking to a lot of them, and some of them become friends through the years, like when they start telling you about their workouts, it's like, just stop. Like you can't do normal. I don't have that kind of time. Who's got time for 2.5 hours?
Well, yeah, that's right.
To go lift. Yeah. Like I don't have that time.
Every day.
You can't do it. And these guys just, it's part of their process, so they do it all the time, but it's just, there's no way.
By the way,
go ahead.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What a week.
What a job out of you. 2 brags out of you in the first 10
Let's
minutes.
Go
ahead.
Ball's not gonna
spike it. Go ahead. Tell them what you've done.
I have matched the standard set by you.
We have never.
Really? And we've never had that before.
We've never done better than this. So 14-2.
Week 1, you went 14-2 in the
you,
National Football League.
You just locked up a 14-2 last night with Seattle. So in the first month of the season, we have both set the bar, the all-time bar for 1 week scores.
Well, yeah, and through 4 weeks, we're both 20 games over 500, more than that, because I just went up 12, and I don't know.
Yeah, you were above anyway.
Like
yeah,
mid-ish 20s.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's absurd.
Yeah, it is. Why do you suppose it is?
Luck.
Dumb luck. But no, we've done it for like 6 years.
Yeah, but we've
never started like this. But we had the 1 year we were like 60 games over 500. Like we have never ever even been in the vicinity of losing the scores.
No,
never.
No.
And so, but this is light years even beyond
outrageous.
What is normal or should be considered.
It's outrageous. And I think it's been a combination of like this was the first week, and I wonder if it's because it's week 4 and Vegas really kind of locks in. This is the first week where I did a lot of my Vegas theories that worked. Whereas earlier you were like, no, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
And early in the season, before maybe
it
they
was
had that locked up, it was just that simple.
Yeah, maybe it was.
So I think it was a combination of you nailing that early and then me getting a little luck late.
Yeah, certainly did. I'm going to tell you this.
I'm feeling good, feeling froggy.
You should be. It's gorgeous out. The sun's out. It's warm. Feels like August.
Right. And you know what? We're on to the bye week. Flushed it.
The next level is next. We'll be back on Monday. I wish you all the best.
Maybe on Thursday. Maybe.
I wish you all the best.
Maybe. Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Please.
Is last night the best example of why you have a Manningcast? It's a crash. It's an absolute crap game. It's a garbage game. It's brutal.
Horrid.
Brutal.
Yeah.
They're the only reason I stuck with it.
Yeah.
Was them.
And Peyton, their reaction to the pick six, which was just,
oh my God,
was that a minute of silence and just looks of complete and total disgust on their faces?
Yep.
Great. Yes, last night, and then you get Peyton doing the thing about how an offensive coordinator should call the play into him when he's wearing his big green helmet was, I thought, electric. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Manningcast makes bad ball enjoyable because then it feels like you're hanging out with your friends, and by the way, you're getting a football education from arguably the best to ever do it, certainly the best regular season quarterback of all time.
That's right.
And Eli's funny. Will Ferrell's great. Sean O'Hara's got the relationship with Eli, so that was good.
Yep.
Yes, I think it's the quintessential. I do like, though, when you get them late in a tight game and then they start getting into, like,
the ball,
their strategy. Okay, here's what would you be doing here? Here's what so I like that. So you didn't get that in this one. But, yes, they were able to make an otherwise dull game entertaining. And, I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about the Giants probably momentarily, but wow.
Talking about them right now.
Okay,
but a couple of Manningcast thoughts first.
Go. Number
one, they got the format figured out.
Agreed.
They were jamming too many guests in early on, and it was like, here, let's check our Rolodex and see how many celebrities. No, less celebrities. You two are the stars. This and this, one in each half. That's good. Let it breathe. You guys go ahead and go. It's spectacular for that. Number two.
Seconded.
Second point. The Manningcast is my preferred Monday Night Football viewing experience unless we are playing. And then you're not because you're calling games, but it's. Yeah. I'm telling you, when it's something you are invested in, it's a very difficult watch.
You want the straight
because you want the game, and you lose the game if it's something you care about. If you're on Manningcast, 3. I'm watching last night. I think Peyton Manning might be the most charismatic athlete I've ever been across. And I know the pushback would be Charles Barkley. I know there would be some others out there. Barkley is close, but I think Manning is the most talented, charismatic crossover athlete that we've ever known. He hosts it. He's the funniest. He's witty. He's on it. When he does the golf stuff, he's the dominant personality on it. Barkley's the natural answer and the natural pushback. He probably held the crown. Let's say Barkley was the heavyweight champ of charismatic former athlete for like 20 years. I think Manning is usurped.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. I think that Barkley is incredible at being Charles Barkley. Mm-hmm. Peyton has so many different facets to him. Not to say that Charles Barkley is one note, but Charles Barkley's at his best in a very kind of particular lane, and he's the best at it in that lane. He's the best former kind of player in that setting. Peyton can host Saturday Night Live. Peyton can then go, and I'm sure Charles Barkley can host Saturday Night Live. And he did, right? That's what I thought. Peyton can be self-deprecating. I don't know. I think you're right. I think he has a likable charisma and an approachable charisma in the sense that he doesn't make you feel like he's too good for you. He makes you feel like he'd probably be great to hang out with and would give you, the time of day. So I think that he has, and it's subtle, right? Everything with him is subtle.
So, yeah.
It's not, there's no over-the-top shtick. He's just really funny, highly intelligent. I like it. I like where you're at. He might be the most likable megastar ever too, who's not afraid to be in the spotlight in a variety of capacities.
He is kind of the, steal your word, quintessential Southern aristocracy, and yet comes off as someone you could approach at a tailgate and have a garage beer with. That's the operation.
Yeah,
that's an impossible needle to thread. Yeah, it just is. There's no people struggle with that so mightily. He does it.
Yeah.
He does it. He's sorted it out. I don't know how, but he has.
He has, and Eli is great on this show, and Eli has like that very likable, and you saw the video of, some guy hopping out of a car in an Eli Manning t-shirt and he was behind him and dapping him up and all that. Eli has a little bit, and it was always kind of, even the Eli Manning face was kind of like an aw shucks.
Yep.
Peyton is like, I'm the man, I'm the alpha, and I'm still super cool, and like, I want everybody to, whoa.
Holy smokes.
Blinded by the light.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh my,
Blinded by the light.
oh my goodness.
Griff, can you get in here? Can we turn a camera on that? Well, now it's off.
Oh my gosh. They hit
So there's, to give people an idea.
Did you see that, Gibby?
The eclipse?
Outside of the studio, there is this huge board. We got to tell them to hit the lights again. There's this huge, I think we think it might be Nick Chubb ultimately that's going to be going up on that wall, and it is appropriate. So it's a huge LED board, and I think it's going to be like a canvas pulled across it. And they just turned those lights on for the very first time. And it was like in...
I'm still seeing spots because I looked directly at it.
Oh, yeah, you were right in it.
Yeah.
It was like in Christmas Vacation when it went from darkness and then he got all the lights on, and then Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
She did.
Why is the carpet wet, Todd? I don't know, Margot.
Poor Todd.
Poor Todd, yeah.
Yeah. That was.
Can we get this turned on here?
We got to get that guy's attention.
It's like an airport landing pattern.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, man, are they about to unroll? Are they about to
before they
unfurl?
do, we got to...
we see these lights again.
Get one of these guys. Get the attention. This fine gentleman.
Excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, coach. Sir.
No. Anyone?
No.
No.
Come on, look. This is our best chance right here.
Hey, sir.
No, not your phone. No. Over here.
Can we turn those on again?
Flip
Can we turn
them
them
on
on real quick? Flip them on.
Just flip them on.
Flip them on. The lights again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and just
Can you do it? Can you turn it on? No. Here.
Yeah, I think he's got it. That's right over there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right.
Let's see if we can show for the
See if
people.
we can show it for the people.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Maybe.
This is
Maybe.
Do we get it? Don't look directly at it, Z.
I'm good.
I don't know. I feel like the message was lost.
Let's turn them on.
Yeah, come on.
Why is this hard? Oh. No,
you're not going to get it. I don't know.
Give me that pen real quick.
Did they blow
Turn
a
on
fuse?
lights.
Turn around. Yeah.
Have Sark get it going.
Starkey, tell these guys.
You know what's great?
What?
It's like the scene out of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation where everybody comes outside and the lights are off.
Yeah.
Like, we're literally live streaming just a dark wall. The moment we go away from it, they're going to turn
that guy
them on.
knows how. That guy.
Can you just turn them on again real quick?
Just real quick.
Real quick.
That's that's my guy.
Yeah.
And he's got it. He came out here with the focus.
He's got it.
All right, let's see if we can get this now.
Here we go.
The rest of those guys thought we were like joking. No, we don't want you to unfurl the Chubb.
We just want to see him for 1 second.
Leave the Chubb in for a moment.
Just give us the lights.
Don't unfurl it. Just hit the lights.
One time.
One time for the people.
No, I don't think we're getting it. I think we're getting an unfurling.
Oh.
No. What are you going to do? We just want to see the lights.
We
Gibby's
tried.
trying again.
We've done it.
Tell them to just pop those things on again. Pop
Let's see
those
if
lights right
let's
on.
see if the head honcho, if they'll listen to that.
If they don't,
No, they're unfurling it. You're not
No.
going to get the lights.
no.
They told us to go to hell.
They said
That's
no.
what happened.
Yeah, no.
You guys go straight to hell.
So
We're
they
not
just
doing it.
blinded us for no reason.
For no reason.
And now it's an unfurling. Well, we're at least, hopefully they're going to turn it on. We're going to get to see this before
Nick
the
Chubb.
show's over so people don't think we're nuts.
I think that's probably in play already.
Well,
The Giants suck.
the NFL is very hard. The Giants do not appear to be good at football.
They're bad, buddy.
Here's the thing that's wild to me.
Can I have the rest of my rundown that we were trying to get them to turn on the lights with?
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
is.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Here's the thing. Brian Daboll appeared to have that he's had it with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Here's the problem for him. With that contract, Daniel Jones is going to be there.
So it's 4 years, 160.
Right. So Brian Daboll, like you got to.
Is this the first year of it?
Yeah, he just signed it. Yeah.
Okay, so he's got this year and then 3 more. It's possible that Brian Daboll's very good at his job, and now he's going to potentially forever be undermined by this cat. He'll probably get another run somewhere else.
Yes, but you have to think that he was. Oh man,
They put that up quick.
that
The
was
Nick
a
Chubb poster is
real
up
unfurling.
really quick.
Flip to this camera. Give the people a little look, a little peek ski. Yeah,
There you go.
and then I feel like this is going to be backlit by the blinding lights,
Yeah.
and then it's going to probably look really spectacular.
Really cool, I would think. Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
Wow,
But the Giants really suck.
But Brian Daboll, let's be realistic about this.
Yep.
There is no chance.
None.
And The Rock means no chance that they give Daniel Jones that contract without Brian Daboll being like, yes, this is the dude.
Or do you, just to counter, Or do you think he just said what they wanted to hear? He's a new coach. You brought in they drafted him in the first round. Can we make him right? Yeah, I can make him right. I'll make him right.
If you're a coach in the National Football League, the best thing that you can do, because he had nothing to do with the drafting of Daniel Jones, is say, let's give it another year, but I'm not 100% sold yet on him as that guy, which gives him the out. If it's not, you say, well, it wasn't that guy. Now we need to go find me that guy because I've proven I can groom a young quarterback. Mm-hmm. This just is not the right one. I think from a job security standpoint, it would absolutely behoove him in every way, shape, or form. Okay, here we go. We're told we're going to get.
Here's the thing, though. Like, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but you'll never see what we saw.
But you won't see what we saw, which is what we were hoping for. That's why there was a moment where we were hoping to be blinded. It's beautiful, though.
I mean, it's stunning.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice. It's very nice.
It really is. Nicholas Jamal Chubb. It makes me miss him. I long for him.
I should do one of those for Bootsy, except of him, like of his accomplishments, like up the stairs, illuminated.
Yeah, or maybe him having a snack.
That would be more appropriate, quite honestly. Relentless pursuit of snacks. Between that, the other thing he's big on is he just wants drinks. I want to try any drink. So whatever you got. So like hint water, any sort of body armor. Let me try this drink.
What's his number one hint water flavor?
The peach, I believe.
Oh. Pineapple's a real treat.
I haven't had that one yet. He likes going to Costco with me and picking out the drinks. There you go. It's done. It looks good.
It almost looks like it's like alive. Those little, how the paint splat, how they kind of have that effect around him.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
It'd be really neat if you could kind of if he would run.
It's also a reminder that he is not going to play the rest of the year.
And it's going to be a reminder right in our faces.
Every day I'm going to look
at it. I said
my heart yearns for Nick Chubb.
Yes, I have a longing. We might have to write a song.
I don't have that skill. Do you?
Don't tell yourself. You have all the skills.
No. I'm very good at knowing what I'm good at. Let me ask you this. What do you make of Seattle?
We'll find out in a couple of weeks when we head to
We'll get a shot at him.
This is what I think. Good quarterback, not great. Good. Mm-hmm. DK Metcalf is a freak. Mm-hmm. Lockett is very good. They can run it with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. So I think they have the potential to be an explosive offense.
They're 3-1.
Yeah, and then I liked that. We thought they were going to the playoffs. A stud. Well, you have him and now Roland, so you have two really good corners.
Yep.
So yeah, and they can get after the quarterback a little bit. Yeah. You said 11 sacks. I don't care who you're playing. This is the NFL. 11 sacks is 11 sacks. So I think they're good. I think they're the second best team, and I did it in the preseason. I thought they were the second best team in the NFC West.
Yeah.
That's like people.
They're a playoff team for certain.
That's not a lock when we go out there to Seattle. That's going to be a good game.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
We are not in the position of locks. There are no this schedule.
So sad. A week ago we were.
If we can beat anybody, we can lose to anybody. We're not there. It's steady. You're not. You're one up, one down, one up, one down.
Well, that's the problem. We got.
You're not going to be. You're not. I don't know. And we need to see it on a couple of weeks consecutively before. And I think it can happen in December, folks. If you look at our December schedule,
we got to get there though.
You got to get there. You got to get there head above water.
Yes,
is the operation there. All right. One thing I wanted to run by you. Let's see if everybody back there, Uno, Griff, Gibby, everybody. Do you know, don't say whom this is, but just answer the question, do you know who Devin Vassell is? Yes? Uno says yes.
No.
What about Griff?
No.
Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay. So yesterday, no, I didn't. Uno would have been, did you know before yesterday? Okay. Yesterday I'm watching this game, and on the bottom line it says, Devin Vassell signs 5-year, $146 million contract.
I believe it's Vassell.
Fine.
Actually,
is this that basketball player?
Credit. Yeah, basketball.
Vassell? Okay, Devin Vassell.
Yes.
All right,
okay,
so I read this on the bottom line, and I go, who in the blue hell is Devin Vassell? Vassell, apparently. Never heard of the cat.
Never heard of him.
5 years, 146. He has played what amounts to he started like 71 games in 3 years in the NBA.
And does he average like 7 points a game or something?
Last year he had 18, 4 and 4.
Okay.
But up until that, it was really minimal. Last year he started like 36 games, something like that.
Okay.
So they're banking on the potential, but he's going to see every cent. So that's more money than Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett. Like, you think about the most important players in this sport who are not quarterbacks. It's more than all of it, and he will see every penny of it.
Well, I didn't know the name when you said it out loud, but I saw a tweet that was saying that guy just got 5 years, 150 basically, and like Jonathan Taylor can't get
$10 million.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley. How about, can we get you $10 million?
Yeah.
This dude's.
It's NBA. It's 12. They're paying 12 people.
It's also. I know we're up against it a little bit. If
No,
there's
you're
such
not.
thing.
You're fine.
All right.
We're rolling
Listen,
through things today.
all right,
It's a bye week.
It's a bye week edition.
Here's what I don't understand.
Let me
Go
real
ahead.
quick on this. Here's the other thing. The NBA for the last couple of media rights negotiations has benefited tremendously by its ability to make the black go away for television partners, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, in television, programming is called that's the black. If there's no programming, then you're not showing anything. The television screen is black. You can supply 81 dates a year to cable television, right? And so their ratings are not commiserate with what they get from a financial standpoint. But the notion that it's going to keep going up exponentially year after year is also done. That's not going to happen anymore. You are not going to see that. You know what's going on at Disney right now in terms of how they're cutting way back, may even be selling ESPN. Like, all of that stuff's happening. There will not be more and more of this. So right now is kind of the sweet spot of this in terms of content. But you're going to get to a point where, because the cable model is about broken, you're going to get to a point where if you do not deliver ratings, you're not going to get the money. And the NBA does not deliver ratings. Not
No.
at all commiserate with what they demand from a
It
financial
doesn't even
standpoint.
compete with preseason NFL.
Oh, dude, college football.
Preseason.
College football competing against itself beats the NBA.
Of course.
But
those are games. I'm saying preseason exhibition
Oh, yeah,
nonsense
right.
football beats the NBA.
yeah.
In some cases, beats the NBA finals.
So that's how Devin Vassell, that's how that happens.
So, agreed. And then obviously it's the smaller roster size, whatever. Do you think, are we looking at an NFL right now that is, due to its ratings dominance, that it ultimately will be able to get even more absurd numbers from TV, and that will increase the salary cap, and you'll start to see guys making big money?
I think that the two things that are certainties in this country from a television viewing standpoint are pro football and college football. Those are the two most valuable entities.
Yeah, people tried to even boycott it. I saw somebody over Taylor Swift. Guess what?
Fine.
Not interested in your boycott.
Not a problem. 27 million people watch Sunday Night Football.
He still commented quite a bit on the NFL for being in a deep, deep boycott.
Yeah, almost as if it's opposite.
I was like, he wasn't.
Almost like he wasn't. Yeah, very much so. No, I think it's those two entities that they're rocket ships.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, there's not even that much in entertainment that's as sure of a bet as football is in this country. There really isn't.
No. It's the best.
It just was stupefying to me. Like, I obviously talk about this in college football the most on every single day. But I felt like if someone was going to get $150 million in the NBA, I would have heard of him.
You'd have an idea who
And the
that
kid
was.
played at Florida State.
Yeah.
So I would have at least had, you'd think that I would have been like, oh, I remember him at FSU. He was, no.
Bob Sura.
Bob Sir, I remember. Ran into that cat in a summer league once.
Did you?
Did.
That had to not go well.
Not well. Thankfully, I didn't have to be the one that attempted to guard him.
Well.
As you can imagine.
You also just don't want to be the guy that's on the backside trying to come down and do a little weak
Dude,
side help.
my
No
City
way.
League game, even at its best, was pretty simple. It was wing to wing, baby.
Yeah.
I'm not going inside.
Same.
I'll wait out here. I'll see you.
Yeah.
No charges. I'm not going. No, I'm not
Charges.
hustling back on D.
Charges.
Come on. No.
I played on a
You'd be lucky if you get me this on the defensive end.
I played on a basketball court that was always at like an angle like this. This
Straight
is
down
me
here?
trying to go play defense, and this is me going straight to the.
You didn't clap,
score.
did you? Like,
Never.
Never.
No way.
if I see a kid clap, run.
No way.
You're out.
I would just come off screen. Buck.
That's it.
There it is.
Little point.
We'll see down the.
That's all you need
Go
on that.
jog back.
Browns are off for the rest of the week. Players wrapped up today, shortly before noon, as they're now going to be off for the rest of the week. Time to heal up all of the injuries by the time you get to what will be week 6. By the time we reconvene,
Can I say something that's crazy?
you can say anything you want.
Actually, I don't
You're the
think it's
franchise.
crazy. No, I'm not. We.
Yes, you are. No,
we,
you.
We. Thanks, Goose.
I don't know. He's got a good parking spot, as I found out today.
He's never been.
He's the
Things have never
franchise.
been better for him. He's the franchise. He's got everything he wants. PJs. Everything he
I do
needs.
like pajamas.
Sure.
It's
The other
getting to be
two.
winter. It's getting to be winter.
You do not, by the way.
No, I don't.
Liar.
I
Do you ever do that when you see?
I do have a sweet pair of Caddyshack, like flannel
Yeah.
PJ
Sure.
pants that
course.
I enjoy.
Yeah. Do you ever see like in Hollywood, for certainly when we were growing up, anytime that there was any sort of characterization of like a husband and wife going to bed, and it would be like the button-up
Oh yeah, full
pajama thing
yeah.
with the pants and stuff. Like
No.
I've never known anybody who wears any of that stuff.
No,
My dad wasn't rocking that to bed as a kid. I don't know. No one.
I think it
Who's
probably
wearing
came from like Ebenezer Scrooge. Right?
Feels
And
like
those
it,
ones,
like
they're
you
all
button
wearing,
it all
yeah, button
up
up. Yeah, feels like
What
a
are
big.
we doing in all this?
Why?
What a mess.
That's why we got blankets.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I don't-
You said, "Can I just say something that's crazy?"
Oh yeah. Thank you. You were talking about the team for a second.
Oh yeah.
It is possible
Mm-hmm.
that the Browns lose a game
Yep.
that the quarterback and the organization all thought he was going to play on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
He knows his own body was not able to play.
Yep.
There are many times when guys are quote unquote medically cleared, but then they feel like they can't run or they can't throw, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not a sign. Now, I don't know how the season's going to turn out. Obviously, I'm optimistic. I think we have a lot of talent, but we can lose games without it meaning like our organization is like falling apart at the seams and there's crazy infight. That's not happening.
No, I understand. Just to push back. The reason that it feels like that is because historically you don't have all the good stuff in the bank. It's the reason.
yes.
It's the reason.
And
right. I know you're well aware of that,
I
but it's
sympathize with that.
yeah.
I've lived it.
There's a reason that like, even though it is, and trust me, folks, it is far worse off in Cincinnati right now because of what's going on with Burrow and his health. But there is a feeling of, yeah, but if we can just get him healthy, we've seen this operation go.
Yeah,
So that's where that comes from.
I get it. The
Yeah.
nerviness, as you and I.
Yeah, that's
as
right.
We
Yeah,
discussed.
there is
I
a
know. I'm just
nerviness
saying, like,
about it. Yeah. We just have
we
to.
don't want to be 2-2. Nobody here. I think everybody thought 3-1. 2-2.
2-2 is fine. It's just the way the 2-2 happened.
Of course.
that's troubling. Like,
And if this Baltimore game was 2 weeks ago and Tennessee was this week, we feel completely different.
of course.
It's all
Yeah.
just.
Or if you'd beaten Pittsburgh without giving them two defensive touchdowns.
Well, right. If you had done that,
Yeah.
which you should have done,
right.
this is a whole different season right
Yeah,
now.
it feels totally different.
Yeah.
Now there will be, coming out of the bye week, there will be tremendous pressure to look right. You don't have, you're playing San Francisco. It's not, they're the best team in football by 100 miles.
Yes.
But so it's not likely that you win. You can, but it's
You
not
can.
likely.
Right. You will not
But,
be
you-
favored.
but it needs to look right.
Correct.
You can lose and have it look right.
Well, here's the other thing too. You take care of the Steelers like you should have. The worst you could be after 5 games is 3-2.
Correct.
Now that's the best that you can be after 5 games.
That's
so
also very true. Those are the hot topics of the day.
There
They're
you go.
presented by Vivid Seats. Head to Vivid Seats to purchase brand new premium terrace experience. Your ticket comes with pregame field pass parking, all-inclusive food and beverage, and a $50 Brown Shop gift card. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, official fan experience partner of your Cleveland Browns. One thought for every game around the league. Coming up next, you'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet. Sports betting partner, your Cleveland Browns, now live in Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Need a new roof on your home? Never replace your roof again with Renew Home Exteriors. Replace once for life warranty. This month, with the purchase of a new roof, get free installation on a solar-powered attic fan to help take the load off of your AC unit and keep your attic venting properly. Install today and save with no interest for 24 months. Renew Home Exteriors, superior products, superior service. Visit RenewEstimate.com for more. Hello, Gibby.
Hi. How are
Is
we?
he on the wide shot? We
Nah.
don't have him on the
Give
wide
it.
shot.
No
Griff!
love. No
Wide
love.
shot. Give it.
Zoom out.
I
Take
am
the
wide.
zoom out. Look at Griff coming in. Boy,
He's
he
coming.
really was energetic with that stand-up, too, wasn't
Yeah, he looked really happy.
he? He really hopped up.
He really looked happy that
Really
you
looked
called
like he
him
was
out.
ready to go. Griff, you got to get us a wide shot here.
Hold on. I was just having a conversation with Griff.
Uh-huh.
Young Griff.
Young Griff.
I forget all of these young. We're the elder statesmen of like the entire department. By
Yeah, we're men
by
were
a
40.
long shot.
I like
We're men, we're 40.
A long
There
shot.
we go.
Decades.
Hey,
So-
Hey, hey! Look at Uno in the background. Big ovation.
There's young Griff. Just showed
So
it a little bit on
we-
camera. That was good.
The group here that's in charge of like the fun and the parties and whatnot, they're like, hey, next Wednesday, clam bake. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Uh-huh.
Let's go. It's the annual clam bake. They do it
Sure.
for lunch and
8th annual.
Yeah, something like that. Great. Griff goes, what's a clam bake?
I
was
think
like-
that's more of a
And I said, I go,
regional
that's,
geographical
Yeah.
thing than it is a youth.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's where because he's Kansas,
Yeah,
right?
not a lot of clams.
Young Griff's a Jayhawker, right?
well, it's not like I'm pulling clams out of the lake here.
No, but I
but
think
you're by water.
I never
seafood.
heard of a clam bake either growing up.
Okay.
Me
in the-
neither.
in the Great West,
Me
there
neither.
was no such thing as a clam bake. There was none in the South, so it wasn't until I
It's a
came
Northeast
here
thing
that
in
I'd
the
heard of the
Midwest.
clam bake.
Yeah, a little clam chowder. It's just a weird menu. Yes, Bo.
Are we sure clam bakes don't suck?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Okay, that's
I'm
Now, wait a minute. I
Hold
think
on.
it's a
Oh,
fun
I'll tell
little.
you. Let me tell you a couple things that suck. Clam bakes.
Where are
I
you
love
going?
that.
Where you
Clam
going?
bakes. Crawfish boils.
Yep.
Have you
same.
ever? Has anybody ever done an analysis of the work to pay off in a crawfish boil?
Oh, my
I
God.
mean, you are working
a
so
scalpel.
hard for nothing.
Yeah, you're a neurosurgeon trying to get in there.
Shrimp with shells on, dashed in Old Bay seasoning.
Yes.
Useless. Get it out of here.
Get rid of it.
And I'll even go so far as I know people go crazy, and I do like crab, love king crab, obviously. But some of those crab things that you end up going to in Maryland, where it's crabs in the Old Bay, and you're hammering and
Oh,
working,
the blue crab.
You're,
Yeah, not no.
sounds
the
worth
idea.
work
it.
to payoff is
Correct.
nothing. Like I want a lot of payoff, no work.
That's right.
I'm paying to eat the food.
Yep.
That's how I feel about
Put it-
crab legs.
I want those crab legs
I'm
showing
gonna
up.
pull. I'm gonna pull like a little string.
No.
of
Are you
meat.
talking about that king crab?
No, on
King
that
crab.
they
You're talking maybe snow.
Yeah,
you have them split
I
it
don't do
and
that.
cut it before it gets
I'm
to
not
the
in
plate.
that tax bracket.
Yeah, no.
You
yeah,
tell them
yeah.
to split it and cut it before it gets to the plate.
King crab
That's
is
how you
back
run
to
on the
being
crab.
reasonably priced. It's back down to about $30 a pound.
Paula
There was
says
a-
turn me down. Uno.
It was at 60 for a while.
There was a time when you would go to the Costco and get the wild crab legs,
The
which I
10-pounder.
do every year, the 10-pounder. Remember, I lost one in the freezer mishap
I know.
of
It
2021.
was very sad.
Terrible. Yeah,
Really, it was a tragedy.
it was. And forever, it was $29.99 a pound, and then it snuck up to like
60.
$60 a pound.
Back.
Now we're back in
Yeah, we're
reasonable.
back in-
All right,
we're
good.
back in the-
That's
yeah.
That's a good time to refresh.
Oh, it's a great
I
thing.
like having that around.
There's, to me, I would eat good king crab. I think it's number one. Like, I'd take that over lobster 100 days out of 100.
Do you dip it in butter?
Which? Both?
Both.
I do. I make a habanero butter.
Okay. Yeah,
Actually, I do. I
butter-based.
dip it in ghee. A
Same.
habanero ghee.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Do you think? Do you think that you love the taste of king crab, or do you love the taste of it dipped in some sort of a butter?
No, king crab I do like the taste of. And I
Individually,
would be
yeah.
much more likely to eat king crab without dipping it into anything. Like sometimes I'll just
Yeah.
eat it because
Yep.
it's got that sweetness than lobster. Lobster needs
Same.
to be dipped into something.
All right. I'm fine with all that.
One of the best things I've ever had in my life had nothing to do with butter at all with king crab, and it was a tempura king crab leg in a curry at a restaurant in Atlanta that I was
Yeah,
a
that sounds all right.
big fan of.
That sounds all right to me. I could do that. So yeah, I think we sorted all that out.
Yeah,
Gibby.
bah.
Yeah, you get the sack with the clam bake with the sack. Come on.
Potatoes, over-boiled corn. like the
and
corn
then there's the
comes
random
out
chicken
garbage.
breast that's thrown. I do like a clam bake because you get
I think
together
you like
with
the
friends.
socialization.
Yeah.
I 100%
You're
like
drinking
the
beers.
because during football season, I rarely get to see those people.
Yeah,
So, but
yeah,
if
yeah.
instead, if I took
So-
the clams, it's not the clam. If you take them out and you got like Italian sausage or something like that, or German sausage.
If it was a
It's much
chili,
fun.
if it was a
or
chili,
it'd be, you'd have
have
the
a
same
great
joy.
time.
Same
We
joy.
used to have an event over at Walden Lake. My brother-in-law lives over there, and they have like this men's club, and they would do a clam bake, but then and it would just be clams and like a couple basic sides and chowder, and then like an hour in, they would just bust out Italian sausages, and I'm like, now we're cooking.
Now we're
talking.
talking.
Now we
got
got
something.
gas.
Yeah.
Throw some steaks on.
Some
now we're-
peppers, some
now we-
onions.
Yeah, now
Like,
we're going.
let's go.
Now we're cooking with gas.
There you go.
All right,
One thought.
let's do it.
One
We've
thought.
had a lot of
We
thoughts here in
did.
the first
it's
38
gonna-
minutes.
Clam bakes.
Bye weeks are huge wins.
Overrated.
Really,
I was
opens
really
it up.
concerned about the lack of
No, you're fine.
content.
Big
Oh, dude.
Wrong. Currently
Massive.
figuring out how to cut things.
Huge bees.
Huge. Enormous. By the way, speaking of our guy's on a real heater.
Yeah, he does.
He's
in a good spot.
he's playing at a high level. I'd like one day to have him as a guest on this program.
Who?
I'll tell you what, we'd play the gimmick. We wouldn't do it
If
straight.
you know, you know.
We wouldn't do it straight.
No, we would lean
We would lean into the gimmick.
hard. Maybe that's for a BPA,
Could be. Yep.
the Alpha Edition.
You guys are happy to take over that for a week. I'm fine.
No, that's your babe. Stop it. How dare you turn your
Just saying.
That was your baby.
You birthed it from your loins, Gibby.
I think that you may consider the peak of your media career when you and the Ibs boys were
Ibs
riding
boys.
together, when they were a two-man gang. Everything was all about the BPA.
The Ibs
The Ibs brothers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't talked to this player ever on Browns. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him for the Ibs boys on
20
BPA.
minutes,
the worst
20,
thing.
yeah, 20 minutes.
The worst and best thing is putting it in the rundown and watching the reaction from Bo just going, I'm not freaking reading that.
Well, I'm
and
not doing
throwing
that.
it
Doing
away
that.
and going,
Yeah.
the next level's next.
I'll
Not
be
even promoting
I do
your
think
stupid
though,
podcast.
Be
that's
damned if
for
I'm gonna do
sure.
that.
The Ibs boys are on your Mount Rushmore of your media career for sure.
The Ibs boys.
Yeah.
I really think
really
that
one of the brothers,
I've
the Ibs
accomplished a few
brothers.
other things in my life.
I just said
outside
on
of
the Mount
BPA.
Rushmore. I didn't say I'd
No,
be,
no, no.
I mean,
that
it
means
could be
it's a
number
top
one.
four.
Yeah, it could be number
I'm
one.
pretty confident
Could be
that
number
if
one.
it's not, then
This is
I need to
maybe my favorite-
reevaluate what
this
I'm
might
doing
be my
in my
favorite
life.
segment I've ever.
It's
been
a real trap.
I've ever participated in.
Very much.
The BPA for a while though.
Actually,
was
it currently
your
makes money
pride and
for
joy.
us. So
The BPA was your pride and joy. That was a true statement.
yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. There
There
we
it
go. There it is.
Well,
And it's been said.
It's
it is
said.
known.
It's known now.
Yep.
It is known.
All right.
Okay. All right.
One thought, week 4 in the National Football League. Moving on. Jacksonville takes down Atlanta 23-7. By the way, the pictures of D. Orlando Ledbetter in London.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah. D. Orlando going, I am in London.
Dressed
Buckle
to the
up.
nines?
Oh, living his best life, clearly.
Oh, just out there and loving it.
Posting some pics that may be questionable.
Didn't he stiff us the last time?
No, we had technical
We had technical
issues.
difficulties. He
There
couldn't
was-
hear us, I think.
Yes. It was nothing on our end.
Yeah.
Jags 23, Falcons 7. Jags get back on the winning shtick. Zagura.
The Atlanta Falcons are not a serious franchise.
No.
I've been saying it. By the way, you think I got any text this week?
No
Awful
text.
quiet. Awful quiet on this 2-game slide for the
Young
Atlanta
Tyvus.
Falcons.
Yeah.
from Tyvus.
TP.
Actually, he came in the booth, and I made just like a quick little joke. He's like, "Yeah, no, they're not serious." Yeah, like, what are they doing? They need a quarterback. They need a quarterback. They should be trying to get Kirk Cousins. They should be trying to get Matt Stafford. They should be trying to get anybody they can. Justin Fields. I think that maybe even feels actually realistic that they could get Justin Fields, Jacoby Brissett, or I don't know, play Tyler Heineke. Tyler Heineke almost
Can't
led
keep doing
Washington to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They remember how pissed they were in Washington when they played Carson Wentz over him against
Yep.
the Browns. That crowd was out for blood. So something must change. They are not serious. And-
Desmond Ritter still their quarterback, Arthur Smith says.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for one more week anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
My kids watched this game in Toy Story mode, which was pretty remarkable
It's insane they were able to do
that
that.
they're able to do that. So like they were watching it and like, how cool is this? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
It only
It's
had
pretty
like
cool.
one glitch, right?
Yeah. Only like
One
on
time.
dog piles there would be like a little, but other than that, it was really clean and
Yeah, so they had a
Kinda crazy.
GPS. They had a GPS tracker in everybody's shoulder pads, and they were able to use that and
Live
put that
animate.
in live animate it.
really cool.
Yeah, Peyton had some good live animation last night on his new thing that he was
Yeah,
working
that,
on.
that 3D thing he was working on.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So mad when they blow coverages.
Not happy.
Yeah.
The Rams take down the Colts in overtime, and 4 teams in the AFC South, all 2-2. Rams improved to 2-2. I got to think they're one of the early surprises here in the National Football League. Bishop, one thought from you.
They play hard. Stafford's still really good. They're getting stuff out of people you never heard of a month ago. They're going to get Cooper Kupp back. And McVay's coaching it, man. He flat out coaches it. So they're better than I thought. They're 2-2. They got a quality win over Seattle. But yeah, that's they're a little better than I thought.
Segura?
All right. This to me is incredible, what I'm about to tell you. Kyron Williams, to your point, that nobody had ever heard of, is the number 4 fantasy running back this year.
Yep.
Number 1 is Christian McCaffrey. This is insane. Number 2 is Raheem Mostert. Number 3 is Devin Achane. So the Miami Dolphins have 2 of the top 3 fantasy running backs.
That's right.
Don't think
season.
they need Jonathan Taylor.
No, they don't need Jonathan Taylor. Puka Nacua is the number 5 fantasy receiver. So if somebody at the beginning of this year would say through 4 games, the Rams, Kupp's going to be on IR,
Yeah.
and the Rams are going to have the number 4 fantasy running back, and it's not going to be Cam Akers.
Not Cam Akers.
And they are going to have a number 5 fantasy wide receiver, and you say, well, who? I don't even know who it could be. That is remarkable to me. And Aaron Donald is still playing at an elite level. Matt Stafford can still play. I think they get the Eagles this week, which might be a tough one for them.
Yeah.
But how about those
Still,
Rams?
they're competitive every
I think they're
week.
fun. Now, this game, the one thought is we got to do a better job of putting teams away. We already had 23-0 in this one. It ended up going to overtime because the Colts came back and tied at 23-23. So let's not be afraid to step on some throats here.
Yeah, the Colts, pesky.
They are pesky.
Up next, from a 50-point win last week to a 28-point loss this week. Bills, 48. Dolphins, 20. Zagura, one thought.
It's as if this was a Vegas simulation. They
Yeah.
said, everybody's going to come over here, and Miami's the best team in the league, and they're getting points. How could it be? How about Josh Allen after that first week? 21 of 25, 324 touchdowns. He's playing as well as anybody in the league. Stephon Diggs, 6 for 120 and 3 scores. This was an impressive statement game by the Buffalo Bills, and also should be noted, first time DeMar Hamlin has played an NFL game since that near tragedy on the field against Cincinnati Bengals. So awesome for him to be back.
Dolphins got to be the first team in NFL history to score 70 and then give up 48. I mean, that in consecutive weeks, it's got to be an impossibility. Just kind of a reminder maybe of we all buried Buffalo a little too quick.
Yep.
They've been really good. They've dominated the last 3 weeks. Lost a weird one in the opener of the Jets. Dominated everybody else since.
Dominated.
Still have no
It was
idea.
Vegas.
38-10. Washington.
Washington.
And now Miami. They dominated 3 in a row.
Up next, guys, Denver takes down Chicago in a wild one. Broncos 31, Bears 28. Bears led most of the way in this one. Bishop, one thought from you?
I think, I was happy for my guy Justin Fields. He was pretty much perfect in the first half. He was really good in the second half. He made just a brutal interception late in the game.
Yep.
But it is largely coaching malfeasance in Chicago. They are probably the epitome of the can't get right franchise. They have Fields who they've ruined, whatever he could be. Like, trade him to Atlanta right now. Beyond that, though, they gave up what is essentially a first-round pick for Chase Claypool. And now he's
insane.
been told to just walk away.
Stay
Just
away.
stay away. Stay out
Yep.
of it. Like, rule of thumb, if Pittsburgh gets rid of you, there's a good chance you're a can't get right. Because they find a way to get out at the right time, whether it's
And it
Le'Veon
was the
Bell,
year-
Antonio Brown. Like,
It was the year after.
we're good.
He was pretty good as a rookie.
Yeah.
And it was
Like
the next year.
Yeah, we're like,
Like, no, you're annoying.
yeah, why don't you go play some
Get out of here. I still want to see more design runs for Field. That's what he's at his best, but this was his best throwing game. Obviously, the 2 catastrophic mistakes. But again, this is another one. You're up 28-7 in this game. You're averaging 5.5 yards a carry. How do you lose it? You're up 28-7 in the third quarter, and you're averaging 5.5 yards a carry. You ran it 31 times. I mean, everything about this game says that they should have won, but you have a fumble return for a touchdown by Fields and a brutal pick, and they lose. Shocking loss.
To the AFC North / AFC
Denver's
South
bad,
we
too,
go.
by the way.
Yeah, neither one of them are anything to write home about.
One quick note. Jaleel McLaughlin, Adam in fantasy. Javante's banged up again. He looked pretty good in this game.
I already did. I'm going to have to explain to NBC who he is because he's going to be upset that I cut one of his guys for him.
Well, good.
But,
You're on it. Good fathering.
On it.
Amen. Texans 30, Squealers 6. Texans have won 2 in a row. Bo Bishop
In
won
slumping fashion. Slumped Jacksonville. Slumped Pittsburgh. C.J. Good. Played without both tackles in this game. He did.
And they're
both
getting
starting tackles. They're both back this week. Yeah, he was get under a lot of pressure, never panicked, made a ton of great throws. He's off to the best start of a rookie quarterback in a very, very long time.
Yes, he is. Houston's impressive. The Steelers are bad, and it makes the loss to them sting even more, in my opinion. You knew you had to have that game. You knew you should have had that game. The Steelers fans knew it, and they have turned, by the way, the Pittsburgh fans on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are not a good football team at all.
Up next, Minnesota gets right. First win of the year. They take down Carolina 21-13. Minnesota still very much alive in the NFC North Division at 1-3. Carolina drops to 0-4. Zagura.
Bryce Young struggling. This was the get-right
Small.
game. This was the get. He's too small, I think.
They have no weapons. He's under constant duress.
Yeah.
And they're going to be lucky if they don't ruin him. And it was a risk anyway, but they're going to be lucky if they don't ruin him.
And they don't have their number 1 pick next year. The Chicago Bears do. Mm-hmm. So you're not even going to be able to go out and get him Marvin Harrison or to get him that kind of help that you would think that he would want. I mean, they're relying on Adam Thielen just as a volume guy right now. Justin Jefferson remains elite. This was a strange game. The Vikings really didn't have it going in a big way, but they got it done. Kirk Cousins only 19 pass attempts. It felt like they never had the ball, and yet they won this one easily. The Panthers are
bad.
Bad.
Look at that
All right,
guy.
little rapid fire. Come on in. You want to do this?
Come on in. The water's warm. Okay. All right. He'll be back. All right, good.
That's right. That's right.
He's a good man.
The
And
best
thorough.
man. The best man.
All right, rapid fire time. Tampa Bay takes down New Orleans 26-9. I'm not sure why you can't play Jameis Winston, but the Saints just did.
Baker's playing well.
He's playing really well.
Playing good ball.
He's
Good
dropping
ball.
it. He's ripping it. He's seeing the field. He's really confident in what he sees. He looks good.
The one thing that could be a concern for them is if Mike Evans is in fact out, he's getting his hammy checked. That'll put a wrench in things. But yeah, he's playing well. I don't understand how a team can complete 24 passes in a game and 13 of them go to their running back for a grand total of 33 yards. That's 2.5 yards a catch. I mean, like, what in the world were the Saints doing? How does Chris Olave having 1 catch for 4 yards? Brutal.
Yep. Eagles remain unbeaten. They take down the Commies in overtime, 34-31. Commies have lost 2 in a row since starting off 2-0. Bishop?
Eagles haven't played their best and they're undefeated.
Yes.
That's my takeaway.
They haven't even played
No,
close to their
they're kind of
best.
sloppy. They're not offensively. They're not very fluid, but they're still undefeated. So that tells you their talent.
A.J. Brown is elite. DeAndre Swift is excellent. The Commies, I think Sam Howell actually might be a real guy. I don't know that he's ever going to be a top 8 quarterback in the league, but I think he's might be a real starter. They should be chopping Jacoby and trying to get an asset for him from somebody or a draft capital something. That Jacoby Brissett should be starting in the NFL right now, and he would help Atlanta. I mean, he would make Atlanta immedially better.
Yep. Exactly. Titans take down the Bengals 27-3. Zagura, one thought.
I turn it over to Bo.
Yeah, I watched all of this one. Burrow's not right. They were trying to throw him right. And so because of that, Burrow was number 1 in the league last year in scramble accuracy. He cannot scramble. So he is standing back there, and there's no creativity in their offense. So they're basically just begging on T. Higgins and Jamar Chase to get open independently and for somehow the timing to work.
And
It is an
might not have T.
abject failure.
Higgins.
And now they're out Higgins probably for a couple weeks.
Chargers take down the Raiders 24-17. Staley's job continues to
Bozo.
be kept alive by
Absolute
other
bozo.
teams.
Dude, just so you guys are aware, Justin Herbert really screwed up his finger on his left hand early in the game, right?
Yep.
It is a 4th down. The announcers literally say, do not put him under center. His left hand is screwed up. What does your boy do? Puts him under center for a sneak on 4th and 1,
Short.
which they do not get.
Yep.
And then turns it over, and only the Raiders' own incompetence keeps the game from being tied.
Correct.
They are never going to be a serious team as long as that guy's coaching them.
No, and they're 2-2. They've won 2 in a row, right?
Yeah, because they started out 0-2.
Started 0-2.
Yeah.
Lucky to win them both.
No Eckler
They almost
for 3
really
ga-
tried to
Yeah.
give it to Minnesota.
They're
They
Minnesota
tried to give
fans screwed up their own team.
They're missing Eckler
Yeah.
badly on that offense.
Missing a coach.
Yeah, no doubt. 6 sacks. We can't go away without not noting that. Khalil Mack, 6 sacks in
Yep.
this game. That is an insane performance.
Cowboys take down the Patriots. Bill Belichick's worst loss, 38-3. The final score there. Segura?
Where's Bill Belichick coaching next year, or does he retire at the end of this year?
He's not retiring. He's going to chase Shula. He's going to go to an established place with a roster that's kind of set up, and he's going to be great again. But he cannot – the general manager has failed the coach miserably.
And he needs to go somewhere where he is solely the coach.
Yeah.
49ers take down the Cardinals, 35-16 to remain unbeaten.
Cards are plucky. They've got a lot of give a damn to them. 49ers are just the best team in football.
49ers have played some teams here. The schedule maker was pretty nice.
Yeah,
Sunday
but-
night football this week against the Cowboys,
That'll
and
be-
then us.
But they slump people.
they are
like, they're
slumping
not-
people. They
Good
were
teams
missing
win.
bodies, too.
Great teams cover. Like, they cover and leave no doubt.
Christian McCaffrey, 177 total yards and 4 touchdowns in this game. They put up his stats for 18 games, I think, with the Niners. The Niners have never lost with Christian McCaffrey, I think, starting. They've never lost with Brock Purdy. He's never lost in the regular season starting a game. They're really good. Brandon Ayuk is becoming a star right in front of our very eyes. That is a good football team. And they're doing it like Debo and Kittle really have done nothing this year. Nothing.
Sunday night football, Chiefs 23, Swifties 20.
Well, they would be.
Swifties 'cause
You're
they
calling
lost.
the Jets the Swifties?
Yeah, just to make fun
No,
of
the
it.
Swifties are
Not
the Chiefs.
not
I know
quite.
they are.
Chiefs not all. They're kind of like the Eagles. They're not what they're going to be.
No, but they
don't need to
win,
be.
and you wouldn't bet against them.
They're
No.
doing
Although
what the
in this
Eagles
case-
are doing.
They are.
You
Not
do.
the
They're,
prettiest, but
they're just kind of stacking
and
them.
meanwhile, you're overdoing the whole Taylor Swift thing. You're
Well,
cashing
the
in.
league is because it's
You're cashing in.
it's not the league. It's the networks. The league's not saying put pictures
Actually,
of her up.
no.
No,
The league on
that-
their Twitter
Instagram.
and Instagram was like the Chiefs are 2-0 as Swifties. That was like the header on their
Oh,
name.
Oh,
on there.
I thought you meant like in the
Yeah,
broadcast.
the
like-
NFL, they had to take stuff down off of social media.
I don't think it's that big of a. I got plenty of other things to outrage me.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
it's a big deal.
outraged by it. It's just like it's crazy.
Well, I think what you're hoping is that if you're them, you're trying to reach a younger
They are.
demographic.
It's working.
And it's working. They had 27 million people watch on Sunday
It's
night.
working.
Yeah, ticket price is $250.
Yeah. So
Well,
it's
and
all worked.
the
To go see that pig slop.
demographic, the female demographic is, way up.
Yeah. She's like the one thing that can like go toe to toe with them
Yeah.
from a scope standpoint. All right, good job out of you, Gibbe.
Thank you. I'll be back.
Coming up next, you'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, now live in Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, you listen to WKNR, ESPN 850, Cleveland, a Good Karma brand station. Cleveland Browns, avocados from Purdue and Meyer want you to enter the Ultimate Football Sweepstakes for your chance to win a 2023 Ford Lightning electric pickup truck, VIP tour of the Cross Country Mortgage Campus, or a $1,000 Meyer gift card. Visit your local Meyer location or clevelandbrowns.com/avocados for more information on that. And with that, we head out on the Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea Hotline, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. Nick Shook from NFL.com joins us. Let's start here. Are there more bad teams than we ever thought going into this season in the NFL?
No, it's manufactured parity, guys.
You think?
Salary cap,
or do we just have some really bad ball, buddy? Do we just have some really bad ball?
Yeah, but you know what? If you go back in the Twitter archives of a year ago about this time, you'd be hearing the people saying the same thing. It's because you can't do that much in training camp anymore. You can't play that many preseason snaps anymore without fearing injury. There's a number of different factors that don't allow you to truly ramp up. And what it is more than anything is inconsistency. Some of the teams that we thought might be bad or take a step back are proving that to be true. The Vikings and Giants being a couple of those. You got some teams with young quarterbacks that aren't settling in. But, yeah, it'll all start to sort itself out in this month and in the next month. And, we'll forget that we ever talked about this in September.
Nick Shook, before we get into the Browns or the league,
are you okay?
My iPad's falling apart.
You got an iPad falling apart here, Shook. Like it can't. It won't even stand up on its own.
I don't know what's happening. I hope it's okay because I love it.
If Shook was here, he could come in here and fix it.
He would fix it. All right, I want to know what's going on in your Madden franchise, your league. Where are we at? How are you doing?
Year one, I'm currently in control of the Eagles. I have not had a lot of time to play, so I'm pretty rusty. We're 4-5 right now. After 9 weeks, we're in the Week 10 bye.
Okay.
And we're looking to go on a run. We got a bunch of human versus human games coming up. We got our first one out of the way, a tough 3-point loss to the Cowboys, and I think we're going to go on a run here.
All right, very good.
Do you find the gameplay to be forever frustrating?
I think it's better. Year by year, running's a lot better. This year's game, it's become kind of my forte, but I think that
you're a running team.
Purpose, of course.
Well, it's like you have to because otherwise
going off, baby.
Everything's a completion or it's an interception.
That's right.
When you throw it. So
right. My typical stat line
when you play the computer, yeah.
For sure. My typical stat line is something like I'll be 20 for 26 with 300, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 picks.
Yeah.
That's just the way
That's
game.
how it goes.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. That's the game. All right. Well, very good. Hope you go on a run. Yeah. Who's your franchise built around? Give me your principal players on offense and defense. Or are you taking the Eagles this year?
Oh, he's got the Eagles.
Okay, it is the Eagles.
They're not drafting.
It's the Eagles this year.
Okay.
We haven't drafted yet. That's really when I make my mark is we haven't drafted yet. But we have lost A.J. Brown for the last 6 weeks, so we've added K.J. Hamler, and he's been a big part of the offense.
Oh, yeah, a little vertical speed.
We're putting it together.
For sure.
Yeah,
Did you make any big trades?
God, I think I stayed off the market for the most part because I'm dealing with a huge cap penalty right now of like $50 million. So a little locked in the financial part of it, and we got some guys we got to retain. But we'll have a little bit of turnover, probably about a third of the roster next year.
Okay.
Some draft picks. We're stocking up.
Do you know the horizon? Like, are you guys going to be in this for 3 years? How many years is the horizon you have to be really thinking about here?
We typically go 6 to 8 seasons a year.
Jeez.
It's amazing.
Okay. All right.
That's amazing.
So you really, the cap doesn't matter. You can't just go crazy. Can't do it. All right. Very good. All right, Chuck. Browns 2-2. We all know the Browns should be 3-1. The game against the Steelers was obviously a horrible game. What do you kind of make of this football team right now, or is it still kind of we have to see?
It's a roller coaster ride so far, for sure.
Yeah.
It is kind of a wait and see approach. Your quarterback has either not really been needed, he's played poorly, he's played well, and then he was not dressed in a game. So it's all over the place right now. The things that concern me are, obviously the running game is going to take a step back with the loss of Nick Chubb. I don't like the rhythm that the offense is in from a play calling perspective right now. Your offensive line's pretty solid. When you lost Easton Posick for a little bit in that game Sunday, I thought it started to show a little bit of weakness. But it's just like the offense is not all together yet. Now, I don't know if that doesn't happen until week 8 or week 10 or if that ever happens between coach and quarterback. But we'll see. Defensively, you really like what you saw. I don't really pin a lot of Sunday's game on them. I know the point total, was glaring, but this is also a defense that was on the field way too much in the first half and got caught on a couple of longer scoring drives just before halftime that sucked the air out of the stadium, and maybe we're a product of a team that was a little gassed, and because the tackling started to break down in those instances, which points to either a lack of fundamentals or you're fatigued, and I think it was the latter more than the former, based on what we've seen in the 3 prior weeks. So I feel like a lot of what this defense brings to the table, they got to stay healthy. If they can stay healthy, they're going to be in every game, and hopefully you don't have to play with a backup quarterback again.
When you said you don't like necessarily the rhythm of the play calling, what does that mean?
I think that early in the game, there is a little bit of an example of getting a little too cute from time to time, trying some trickery that maybe will stagnate an early promising drive. Sunday is kind of an outlier because we're fighting an uphill battle with the quarterback. You can't rely on the run game as much because you don't have Nick Chubb, and the run game statistically was non-existent in week 3, but it didn't really matter that much. I just think that sometimes from a play calling perspective, you don't have to be so complicated in certain situations, down and distance situations when the easier decision is there, and you just need to put your players in better positions to make plays and capitalize on their talents. And I think that the quarterback play will come with that over time. I thought we started to see that a little bit in week 3 with the rapport with different receivers, Deshaun making plays out of structure and things like that. It's just that, I feel like sometimes he's not given full agency earlier in games because of play calling, and I think that needs to change.
Yeah, I think the thing that's going to be a real challenge here, Nick, and I'm curious where you stand on this, is because when you have Nick Chubb, it is such an incredible, absurd luxury. And then when you don't, I'm wondering where the explosiveness comes from. And it has to come from the quarterback, doesn't it? This is who Deshaun Watson was in Houston. What Deshaun Watson likes to do is hold on the ball a little bit longer and take shots deep downfield. I mean, that's what he did in Houston. That's what he's done kind of his whole life. So how does Stefanski marry that? He's got the bye week, which in a way might come at the perfect time to kind of turn this team completely over to Watson.
I think that if you don't have Chubb, to your point, 202 rushing yards per game for the first couple games, and they've fallen back to 88.5 yards per game since then. So it's a drastic drop-off, and it's not a team that can lean on the run game anymore to open up the pass in a traditional way. It's kind of going to have to be the opposite because the teams just aren't going to fear this rushing attack as much, no matter who's back there now. They're just not going to. So I think that you kind of have to take the approach that I've seen a number of different teams that are struggling at quarterback do, but haven't done it sustainably, like the Bengals, for example. You got to soften them up with the shorter completions, the intermediate completions, maybe not stuff on the perimeter so much, which is I know what they try to do a lot in week 3. And I understand why it was against a strong defensive front. You needed to kind of make them take the perimeter seriously so they wouldn't be so stout between the tackles. But what you really need to do is just, the underneath stuff and get them into a rhythm. I like the involvement of David Njoku. Sometimes it's a little too scripted. Going 5 wide with one receiver on the field at the start of week 2 and throwing to a tight end who, had a miscommunication on the route, throwing 2 tight end screens in that game. One went for a big game, one was a disaster. Sometimes it's just overthought. It's just something that you have to take advantage of your receivers' route running ability, whether it's Elijah Moore coming out of the slot or Amari Cooper on the outside. Soften a defense up before you take that occasional shot. You don't need to be a vertical offense. I don't think you necessarily have the talent to be an extremely vertical offense, but you need to be a team that will efficiently move the football down the field in smaller pieces, because without the run game, you're just not going to be able to balance as much of the run and pass and be able to get as much from the run game and open those things up. So I think you're going to have to be able to take what the defense gives you in the passing game and allow Watson to just kind of work within that mold and tell him, hey, we don't need to go get 55 yards on one play. Now, if it's there, take the shot, but we don't need to put ourselves behind the sticks, which is kind of happening a lot.
You referenced earlier offensive line play, and that's been something that the Browns have just always been able to hang their hat on. You're an offensive line play aficionado. We'll get to the pass blocking side of it in a second, but let's start with just the run blocking that has not been at the level we are accustomed to see from the Browns. What's going on?
I think it's a combination of a couple of things. I think a team that faces the Browns like the Ravens or like the Titans the week before kind of anticipates what's coming from this team and, adjusts accordingly. They kind of plan their defensive approach that way. But I also think that it's a lack of sync and continuity between linemen and running back. I'm not going to say that Jerome Ford doesn't have great vision, but it just seems like when he's about to hit the hole or something, like he's not quite at that point where he's ready to make that cut. And I think it goes back to the luxury of Nick Chubb. He's such a great one-cut back who was able to make, a 6-yard gain out of what should have been a 2-yard game. I think he's led the league in expected or rushing yards over expected since the stat became a metric, 6-7 years ago. So, well, since he entered the league, and it's you come to realize and appreciate how good he is and things like that. Whereas when you take a step back with a player who's just not of that caliber, maybe your offensive line needs to do more than it's done so far. I think a lot of the execution is still there. You may be coming up on a decision at left tackle in the offseason because I just haven't been impressed from who's playing over there right now. But your interior three are still solid, and you have a rookie playing right tackle who's going to have to get his feet under him, who's been very solid in the passing game, which is more than you can ask for a guy who steps in there and has to face those types of edge rushers on a weekly basis. It's just, I trust more the interior three to get an offensive line going in the running game than I do tackles anyway. And I also think that there's a little bit to be said about the fact that this team doesn't run out of under center sets that much anymore either. I think that hurts them a little bit.
All right, you mentioned Jed. You look at it, he's responsible for almost 40% of the pressures we give up as a team right now. He's made some catastrophic mistakes. I mean, the play in Pittsburgh, that cost you the game, and you could certainly make that case. What are you seeing? What's going on? We talked to Joe, and he's like, his technique has gotten better in a lot of ways, but his execution and his play-to-play consistency is lacking. What are you seeing, Nick Shook?
Yeah, I agree with Joe on that. I just think he just looks like slow. Like he's frequently beat around the outside to where you see him trying to catch up once he realizes he's been beat. I don't really know how necessarily to fix it just because I haven't really drilled down on a lot of his tapes at this point. But it's something that is concerning because you need to count your left tackle. You don't want to have to chip for your left tackle very often in the offense, especially if you want to get running backs involved in the passing game, which they've spoken, plenty about wanting to do. So, you expect that guy to be able to protect and, be able to seal off that edge. And he's just losing, the running the hoop drill, the combine that you see all the time with the edge rushers. They're winning that drill against him pretty frequently. And it's just disconcerting because it's the performance is not consistent. He does it the best thing to do is not be noticed, but he's being noticed way too much. And a lot of it is because of the outside rush. The speed rush is really getting him right now.
Nick, let's expand this beyond the Browns, and let's also stay in the division. The Bengals in a rough spot with the Burrow injury, and Pittsburgh in a rough spot at their quarterback and their offensive coordinator position. Baltimore looks pretty good through 4 games. A little bit of your thoughts on both Cincinnati through 4 and Pittsburgh through 4.
Pittsburgh, I think can change. So Matt Canada got the job by an in-season offensive coordinator change, right? They moved on from Randy Finkner, their last OC, before they moved on to Matt Canada, and it just doesn't look good. But I also think that everybody expected so much out of Kenny Pickett coming into the season. They thought he was going to take the next step forward, and they looked great in the preseason and everything else. But there is, Matt Canada's not putting him in a good situation right now. Like on a per-play basis, the run game was non-existent early in the season. The offensive line could be blamed for that because they weren't clearing lanes. They're not protecting Kenny Pickett the best. But now it's gotten to the point where, we're a month in and Pickett got hurt on Sunday, but before he exited, he got to the point where he was starting to see some ghosts, like where he doesn't trust his pocket anymore, and he's going to have to end up trying to do too much. And I think that it just throws the whole offense out of sync, but they don't help him very much. There was a reliance on Najee Harris early in the year. They fell down by a ton of points against San Francisco in week 1, so they couldn't really commit to the run game. Week 2, they did commit to the run game, but it became pretty evident that Jalen Warren was the better option between the two in that backfield. And then Najee actually had his best day of the year in Sunday in Houston, and that ended up, not mattering because they couldn't sustain drives. It really comes down to third down play calling more than anything. I do not like how Canada's approached it, but they're often in bad situations on third down because they're not making positive gains in first and second. It feels like every third down is 3rd and 12 or more for the Steelers right now, which is a tough spot to put a second-year quarterback in. So I think that defensively they're going to be largely the same team. I think they got caught by surprise in Houston, and their offense needs to catch up, and I'm not sure that there's really an easy answer on how they catch up without making a coordinator change.
They're struggling. The Bengals are struggling. Joe Burrow banged up. Is it just as simple as Joe Burrow's hurt, or is there more going on in Cincinnati?
Joe Burrow's hurt, and they're playing as if he's not hurt.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying.
Trying to throw him healthy.
It's crazy.
Hurt more than injured. Yeah, he's hurt more than injured, okay? And they expect him to play as if he's completely healthy and as if he can extend plays and move around the pocket and escape and pick up yards with his legs and everything else. And he can't. I mean, he looks like Tom Brady without the mind and the pre-snap, dissection of a defense of Tom Brady. He's just statuesque back there. It's clear he's not comfortable. It's almost slowing him down a bit, and he just can't do anything other than deliver from the pocket. Not to mention, much like the Steelers, the running game, it's there, but they never go to it.
Right.
I mean, they had a great first drive in Tennessee on Sunday where they went right down the field, great mix of run and pass and everything else. They settled for 3, and then there's a few sequences in which they throw 3 times, and it's like, give them a chance. Hand the ball off a few times. You got a pretty good back there, and Joe Mixon balance this out a little bit and take a little bit off of him, and they're just not right now. It's like they don't see the forest for the trees. Like they just think that, oh, well, he's out there, so we should coach it the same way. You can't do it when he's less than 100%. Defenses are starting to figure that out.
You're the best.
Nick Shook.
Great talking to you, Nick.
No,
Good luck to your Eagles.
You know what? You can find it on twitch.com/the Nick Shook, where we will be playing all of our season games, including probably one tomorrow.
Beautiful.
Oh, boy.
Nick Shook.
There we go.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, fellas. Appreciate it.
Browns Fans Express Beer, presented by Bud Light, bring the same facial authentication technology used in Express access to beer purchases in the stadium. Dedicated Express beer stands are the fastest way to get a beer in Cleveland Browns Stadium. If you are 21 or over, go to the tickets tab in the Browns mobile app to learn more. Dr. Z will attempt to guess the spread. Coming up next, you'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
I don't know if any of that go on the
any of
air.
that go on the air? Did Z doing the play-by-play of the Mohurst play? Did that go on the air?
A little bit did.
Okay.
Nice.
Go ahead. Do it again from the start.
All right. Jackson under center turns around, handing off to Justice Hill, and the ball's on the ground. Maurice Hurst dives on it. Browns ball. This is the break we needed.
And that, from Sunday's game, was your Great Clips play of the game. Great Clips. It's going to be great. That's the way that goes. This is how this goes. If a car, truck, or motorcycle accident caused you injury, call the injury lawyers at 100 Elk, Ohio for a free case review. Elk & Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. You are undefeated.
I'm not optimistic that continues. I've looked at the matchups only, and there are going to be a lot of numbers in weird places. I feel
All
like
right,
this
here
week.
we go.
I am not confident.
It is time for Dr. Z
Okay.
to guess the spread. Bears at Commies, Thursday Night Football. Question for anyone out there who has a microphone, i.e. the two of you.
Hi.
Is this the worst game on paper Al Michaels has ever called in his life?
No.
Other than like Reds regular season baseball in the 70s.
No.
Because he did that, too.
Oh, I know he did.
He did the
That wasn't
Giants
the
when
Big
they
Red
first
Machine?
moved.
It was like
Yeah, that's true. Probably wasn't even then. Probably the Giants. He did Giants play-by-play in the 70s. This is up there. It's up there.
it's not great. Where is this game?
The district.
Commies -7.
Got it.
Oh boy.
Commies -6.5.
Okay.
Started off on a good stretch again for you. Bengals at Cardinals. Bengals in the desert against the Cardinals. By the way, looked great in their icy whites. I like that.
Yeah, they did look
That was
good.
clean.
Bengals -3.
On it, exactly. Too easy, drill sergeant. Jaguars at Buffalo, but in London.
Bills. It's on a neutral.
Jacksonville stayed over there, just for full disclosure. Jacksonville stayed.
Bills -6.
Got it. Bills
What?
-5.5.
Oh man.
I think
Yeah,
that's
last
too
week
big,
when
by
we were
the
doing
way.
the scores, I don't feel good. 14-2.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
better.
nailed
maybe
it.
not.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Houston at Atlanta. Houston at Atlanta.
I think Houston should be favored, but they won't be. It could be a pick. Atlanta -0.5.
Atlanta -2. Incorrect. Carolina at Detroit. Carolina at Detroit.
Detroit -9.5.
Crazy. Got it. Detroit -9.
Oh man, I want to make sure I got 10. I thought could be 10.
Tennessee at Indy. Titans at Colts. Both are 2-2.
Tennessee -1.
Incorrect. It is a pick'em.
I was gonna go half.
Sad. Giants at Dolphins. New York Football Giants at Mama Dolphins.
Dolphins -14.
Dolphins -11. Saints at Patriots. Saints at Patriots.
Patriots -0.5.
Patriots -1.5. Ravens.
These
at,
are all weird.
I know.
These
Ravens at Steelers.
Ravens -3.5.
Nailed it exactly. He's back, baby.
Well, 5 and 4. We're not.
Eagles.
But there's only 14 games, so I just need to get.
Yeah, you're cruising.
Okay.
Eagles at Ramit. 4-0 Eagles at 2-2 Ramit.
Yeah, see, these are all weird. This is Vegas zone to me. Eagles -5.
Eagles -4.5.
Oh, baby, we'll take it. Okay.
Jets at Broncos. Jets at Broncos.
Broncos -3.
Broncos -2.
Dang it.
Chiefs at Vikings. By the way, like the defensive back for the Vikings, like I'm going to talk trash to Travis Kelce about Taylor Swift.
Great.
And
Great.
so
Chiefs
I'll be fine.
minus 6.5.
Chiefs -5. Dang. Cowboys.
Like the majority of these are not around 3 or 7.
No.
This is a hard week.
I think 3 is kind of. I don't think it's the number anymore. Like used to be home team 3. I think that's done. I think it's like 1.5. Cowboys at Niners. The game of your youth.
I know. Pedro will be here for that.
He's gonna be here.
He'll be here
When's he get here?
Sunday morning.
When does he get
Batting
here?
down the hatches.
Let's go, baby.
When does he get here?
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. It's on.
He's taking a red eye Saturday night.
Him and Sue stepping right off into
Right
a
off.
nice brunch.
I'm sure. Yeah.
A little
50
prime
degrees and
prime
rain.
rib and.
Now beef soup. It'll be the first beef soup of the year that night for the Niners
Beef soup?
and Cowboys.
Does he participate in beef? Does he approve and love the beef soup?
Yeah, it's his mom's.
Oh, it's his
his
lineage.
mom, yeah.
Oh, very good.
Oh yeah, he makes a great beef soup himself.
I'm gonna make it. I haven't made that. I didn't make
Oh,
that. I'm gonna bring that
Will
out.
he
It's too
come
warm
in?
for it right now. I
No,
gotta
but
be-
this weekend it won't be.
Yeah.
It's supposed
Sunday
to cool
night's
down.
gonna be like 50 and raining.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All weekend.
It's
Right.
gonna be perfect. Maybe light a fire. Who knows?
All
right.
Will he be there to? Will he be our picker next Friday?
I'm sure. Yeah, he'll come in. He loves it. Come on.
I know
he
he does.
loves it. He pretends like he doesn't love it. He loves it. He loves the limelight. Kansas City. Give me what's that game again? Oh no, we're on to Dallas.
It's the game
Dallas-
of your youth.
Niners -7.
Niners -4.
What? All right, we're at 6 and 7. So the best I can
This
do is go
is
50.
even Stevens, the best you can hope for, and it is Monday Night Football at Allegiant. Packers at Raiders.
I mean, these games are.
Packers at Raiders. Thank God for Cowboys and Niners. The rest of this is tough. Packers. at
Raiders -0.5.
Raiders. First losing week. Green Bay -2.
Yeah, all these were in weird spots. I mean, it's hard when they're all in like.
It's all
weird
over the map.
spots. They were in
It's all over the map.
Yeah, those
That's
are
your first L of the season.
okay.
No one can be perfect.
4-1. 4-1.
As close as you've become in very many facets of your life. OBM, the preferred provider of copiers and document services for the Cleveland Browns, who can tackle any size office. Call 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. A little higher, lower coming your way next. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on ESPN Cleveland. And Pet Supplies Plus is giving you the chance to win tickets to home games all season long while providing the best deals for your pet at over 75 stores throughout Ohio. Enter to win at clevelandbrowns.com/Pet Supplies Plus. Receive a coupon to enter at a local store for your entry. Pet Supplies Plus, proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time for a little higher lower, presented by Keep It Fun Ohio from the Ohio Lottery, offering easy ways to keep gambling fun. Hello, Gibby.
Hi, guys. Welcome in. Josh Kendall, The Athletic.
Boy, have we ever used a Josh Kendall before? You're not up. You're not on.
Boy.
I was on earlier.
Come on, Uno. Come on, Uno.
No, that was on Uno. Because I was talking earlier, and it wasn't coming through.
Uno, quick with the...
Yeah.
That's on you, dude. That's on you, bub.
Uno.
Because he's in there with tequila, and God only knows what they're devising.
Big
They're
plans.
scheming
the night's
something
gonna
up.
look like.
They're scheming something up.
Night, maybe in 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's get right down to it. Hit it, Nick Paulus.
Higher or lower?
The Cleveland Browns come in ranked number 15 in this gentleman's power poll. In front of us, Indianapolis at 13, Houston at 14. Behind us, Jacksonville and Minnesota. Zagura, higher, lower, or just right for your Cleveland Browns?
I think it's just right. I think this is, right now we're a 2-2 team. 15's as middle of the pack as you can get. I think we have the ability to beat anybody. We also have the ability to lose to bad football teams because we've done all of those things over the course of 4 weeks. So I think I'm fine with it. This is a team. We're back to Missouri. We're back where we were kind of when we started the season. Like, this team's got it. It's there for him. Now, it's not as there for him as it was. There's no Nick Chubb. There's no Jack Conklin. But this team's still got to go out there and do it and show it, and I think they can.
Bishop?
I think it's, 32 teams in the league? I mean, ideally, I'd have a 16th. Because I think we're right in the middle. This thing could go a couple of different ways when you come back from this. And it's incredibly important to stress the points that Z just made. You are without the best tailback in football. You heard Nick Chubb give the stat differential when he's there and when he's not.
Yep.
Exponentially different. You are also without your starting right tackle. Now, what that forced you to do is play Big Thanos at right tackle, which he's done a pretty dang good job of.
He is.
And potentially prevent you from taking Jed off the left and putting Dewan over there.
Yes, it is right. That's had a little bit of a ripple effect there. And it's also, Big Thanos is very good at the most important thing, that's pass protecting. He has not been what Jack Conklin has been in the run game.
No.
Jack Conklin his whole career was a great run blocker, starting with Tennessee and Derrick Henry and coming here. So that is a loss that is felt in a different way than, and to your point, had more ripple effects than has been talked about, because once Nick Chubb went down, that's all anybody talked about, right? Like Jack Conklin that injury didn't happen. Well, it did happen, and it's a big deal. The guy's a 2-time first-team All-Pro.
Yep.
2-time first-team All-Pro.
That's right.
Next.
Higher or lower?
49ers are number 1. The Eagles are number 2. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Bishop, higher, lower, or just right?
I think they've been – I don't think they're better than Philly, but they've been better than Philly the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
So you could make an argument they deserve to be 2 on this, but I think 2-3 – it's fine. It's a sweet spot. I'm okay with them sitting right where they are at 3. They deserve it. They hammered Miami. They hammered Washington. They hammered the Raiders.
3 in a row by 28 or more points.
And if not for that crazy loss in the opener to the Jets on a very emotional night, you're sitting at 4-0 and going, they're right there with the 49ers.
Zagura?
Yeah, I would put them second. The Eagles are undefeated, but they have not looked like the Bills looked. And right now, if both teams continue to play the way they've been playing, you would think that the Bills would beat the Eagles. So I'd bump the Bills up. I think they are better than number 3. They are number 2 right now.
Next.
Higher or lower?
The Dolphins, number 4. The Kansas City Chiefs, number 5. It brings us to number 6. And the Dallas Cowboys. Higher, lower, or just right, Zagora?
So I think that the chasm between teams 5 and whoever you dub at 6 is wide. Like, I think those top 5 teams are kind of in their own stratosphere. The Cowboys have the talent to be there, and we're going to find out, right? If the Cowboys give the Niners a good game, to your point, how it looks, then you'll say, okay, then they should be at 6. I think that I would put a tie at 6 right now with Dallas and Detroit. I think
Are they 7 on this?
they're 7.
They
Detroit
are.
7.
And I would I'd knot those guys up there at 6, and kind of they're in their own category to me. And then you have a little bit of a drop again.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I agree with your chasm conversation. The one thing on Miami is it's just a matter of it was kind of that game ended up a lot worse. We went over it on Monday's show. I think like what happened that kind of Tua's got to play a whole year, So but right now, if they deserve to be where they're at, I probably like a Detroit slightly better than Dallas right now, just slightly. And I don't know if that's an overreaction to the way they got slumped in Arizona, but like. It's odd seeing a good team with that type of talent get hammered by a team that's just plucky.
Yeah.
That was a weird loss to me. They got hammered.
Beaten.
Yeah.
Next.
Higher or lower?
The Detroit Lions, as I mentioned, are number 7. Number 8, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 9, Seattle takes us to number 10, Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Higher, lower, or just right, Bo Bishop?
Who's 11, just for my reference?
The Chargers.
Chargers 11,
Chargers.
Rams 12, Colts 13, Texans 14, Browns 15.
All right. I think the Bucs should come down a little. I like even with the bull junk they got coaching in San Diego, LA. I like them better than Tampa Bay, so I would put the Chargers up slightly. Based on Herbert, I would probably put them even up above Seattle, even though, good Lord, they could be 0-4 based on the way they're coached. So slightly worser, the Bucs.
Well, they look like a playoff team right now in the NFC.
Well, look who we're talking about. Like, we're in the top 10 of the league, pal.
Yeah.
Like, we thought that there was a much greater amount. Now, some of it's injury, the Rodgers injury, the Chubb injury, Conklin, Tre'Davious White. We've had a ton of injuries.
Burrow.
And like Burrow. Yeah, good grief, Burrow. So these teams that we viewed as Super Bowl contenders aren't.
No, the only team that kind of hasn't lived up to that is without a major injury is the Jags.
Yeah, they're the
Jags
most
were a
disappointing team,
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Higher or lower?
Number 11, the Chargers. Number 12, the Los Angeles Rams. Zagura, higher, lower, just right.
This is all, to me, all of these teams from the Rams, really from the Buccaneers at 10, even Seattle at 9, those teams through the Jags, Vikings, Packers, it's all kind of, they're in the same boat. Commanders are a plucky team. The Falcons can beat you in a certain way. So I think that all of these are kind of splitting hairs. Do I think from a talent standpoint, I think the Browns should be higher, but they haven't gotten the job done the way that they need to. I don't think that the Rams are the most talented football team, but when you got Matt Stafford, Aaron Donald, and McVay can coach and scheme it up, they're still they're solid. So I have no problem them being there. We should be ahead of the Colts and the Texans. I mean, let's just be honest about it, but we're going to have to earn it. And guess what? This is one of those we'll get to prove it because we will play in Indianapolis in a couple of weeks, and we'll play in Houston on Christmas Eve.
Sheesh. Yeah, I don't have a problem with. I think the Texans are better than the Rams right now. I would have the Texans up and the Rams down from there. The Texans went to Jacksonville and hammered them 37-13, and then they hammered the Steelers at home.
Yes,
hammered them.
A beating.
So I would have Houston up, even though I think obviously there are teams below them that are more talented or more serious. But as for where they're playing right now, I think Houston should be ahead of them.
Yeah.
We have 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, which New York team's better? Giants or Jets?
The Jets.
Giants, like Bears, Panthers, Giants.
Jets just go get somebody go get Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
It's enough
bail
already.
You out. Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, his bottom three: Carolina
Atlanta,
30,
Jets.
Denver 31, Bears 32.
Carolina's worse than Denver, but they're all bad
Yes.
at the very, very bottom.
You got it.
All right, good job out of you, Gibby. Dog Pound, stop by the Team Shot Cleveland Browns Stadium Saturday, October 14th. Grab your limited edition Browns branded Milk-Bone box. Inventory will be limited. Make sure you secure this exclusive box of treats for your pup from the official pet treat partner of the Cleveland Browns. For more information, check out the Cleveland Browns Facebook events page, and you will find it there. Still so much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
You're down.
All right, there you go. What do we got tomorrow, Gibbe?
We're on assignment.
On assignment.
But we'll have some stuff. We'll have Andrew Berry will address the media tomorrow morning. We'll play that for
There you go.
There you go.
You'll hear from Anthony Walker.
Yeah.
And some snippets
Hoff.
from our Dogs
Hoff.
Only podcast.
The Dogs Only. See that.
So,
There you
and
go.
then we'll
Good
be
job.
back with you live on Thursday.
Yeah, there you go. So you will enjoy that. We will be back live with you on Thursday, but still a lot of news tomorrow, so make
Yes.
sure you are here at 1 o'clock. The Next Level is coming up next. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Runs Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.